My name is Siobhan DeClaire, and for my citizen science project, I monitored the creek in my backyard through my certification with the Georgia Adopt a Stream volunteer program. My goal for this project was to monitor the water quality in the creek in my backyard and analyze how the water quality changed over time. So I ended up testing 3 times in November, January, and March so that I could fully analyze the causes and effects of the changes in water conditions. And additionally, if I had any possible concerns with the water quality, I decided I would address my neighbors and come up with a solution. My contribution to science was to check for pollutants in water quality for the organisms living in around the creek to make sure that they were living in their zone of tolerance and had a healthy environment. I also observed how physical surroundings affected water quality, and I took into consideration factors such as runoff and the use of fertilizers. And I also helped to inform neighbors and other people of what they could do to improve water quality and essentially eliminate non-point source water pollution. I also wanted to ensure that the water quality in my creek was acceptable since the creek flows into Sewell Mill Creek, the Chattahoochee River, Apalachicola Bay, and eventually the Gulf of Mexico. So it was important to me to ensure that the water was not contaminated before it entered other streams and eventually the ocean. So on November 16, 2016, I got certified with Georgia Adopt a Stream, which is a volunteer program that teaches people how to monitor water quality and provides them with monitoring equipment and technical support. These are just some different pictures that I took of my creek when I was monitoring it. And the bottom right picture is from November when all the leaves were falling. And then the upper right is from March when the stream was basically clear of all the debris. And I also observed some creatures such as this fish and that insect. These are the results of my testing. So initially when I first tested in November, conductivity was high with the value of 100 and dissolved oxygen level was low. When I tested again in January, I noticed that although the conductivity had still gone down to about 70, dissolved oxygen was still really low. So I decided that some things needed to be changed in order to help make the creek healthier. And so since the dissolved oxygen level was low, I decided that there must be some sort of algae growth in the creek caused by eutrophication. And I was also worried about like dog feces and fertilizers contaminating the water. So I talked to my neighbors about what we could do in order to improve the quality of the water, which basically just meant picking up after your pets and making sure not to use commercial fertilizers as much. And I also talked about the dangers of littering in the street near storm drains and also just the runoff that comes from activities such as cleaning cars. And when I tested again in March, I saw really different results because conductivity had gone down a lot. And the dissolved oxygen levels had actually risen to 6.3 parts per millimeter, which was pretty good for my creek. And in the beginning, pH had a value of 6, but it went up to a value of 6.5, so it became a little bit more basic. By monitoring the creek and taking action whenever I saw something wrong with it, I was able to help improve the water quality even though some of the issues were caused by the recent drought. However, there is a lot that you can do to help prevent non-point source pollution. So you can pick up after your pets when you take them on a walk because pet waste contains a lot of fecal bacteria. Also, use a car wash instead of washing your own car when you can because the soap and car dirt get rinsed into the ground when you wash it yourself, which can pollute surface water. Additionally, when you have lawn clippings or leaves, you should compost them or rake them because leaves, when blown into the street, end up in storm drains, which can cause water quality issues in nearby streams. Additionally, you should limit the use of fertilizers because excess chemical fertilizers get washed away into storm drains and enter local waterways. Also, you should retain stormwater in rain barrels because that reduces the amount of stormwater that would wash pollution into a stream. And also you could use the water in these rain barrels to water your plants in your garden. The last thing you can do is to know where your storm drains are because all the storm drains lead to the nearest waterway and you should make sure that only rain goes into the nearest storm drain.